Welcome to Hefty Fab Works. Today we're going to be installing a lower control arm and cab tab gusset kit from Marlin Crawler. This is for anything 2004 Toyota FJ Cruiser, Toyota 4Runner, or a Lexus GX 470. Any of those platforms this works for. The newer Toyotas are coming out. This might not work for them if you've got something brand new, but for any of the 5th gen 4Runners, this is going to be your kit. All right, the first thing we're going to do, installing this kit, we've got to get everything out of the way. Tires have to come off. Skid plates have to come off if you've got them, and then we're gonna end up removing these lower control arms. Once you've got your tire off, the next thing we're gonna do is the lower control arms. We've got to detach from the shock, we've got to detach from our knuckle, and we've got to detach from the actual frame. These bolts are gonna be a 22, and they are tight as all get out. It is hard to get these off. I recommend using 2 wrenches and a lot of force. This one's 19, and so is this guy. And then we're gonna go ahead and drop the whole lower control arm out. So when you get to about this spot, you might notice that your bolt doesn't want to come out. Just make sure you relieve a little bit of tension. I like using a transmission jack for it just because it's easy and it's at the right height. But these should just pull right out, and they're typically in a 3-piece configuration. The backs are just a bolt, but the fronts have their own little deal here. There we go. It's not that serious. There we go. The next step is setting this up in here. This is one of your plates for the front gusset. And you're just gonna take a marker, kind of draw out where you're going to end up welding on these, just to try and give yourself an idea of where you're going to clean up. Now this is not the only thing you have to clean up. You've got the bottom gusset that's going to go on here as well. Make sure you mark that out. That way you can clean the whole thing up in one go. You don't have to wait and get back in there with an angle grinder. It gets harder the more you add. All right, so now that you've got all of everything cleaned up, we're going to take our small pieces first. I like to do the front first. And you're just gonna tack these in there. You don't wanna weld everything out all the way just yet. You just wanna tack them, that way they stay together. We'll do the front, the back, and then we'll slide in our bottom gusset piece. And now for the rears, we've got our 2 smaller pieces or 1 larger piece. Now, instead of coming up at an angle like the front one does, this one actually sits flat. And there is a right way and a wrong way, an upside and a downside. And then these little pieces are what we're gonna put on first. Same process as before. Stick them up there, tack them, then you can weld the whole thing in. Now that you got everything tacked in there, everything's all set, everything's exactly where it should be, go ahead and do the finish welds. Make sure they look pretty, make sure they look good. Give it some time to cool, and then you can spray paint it and reinstall everything else. Once you got everything welded in, just make sure you spray it. We like steel it here just because it's weldable, it's easy, it's great. But yeah, just make sure you put something on there, something to prevent it from rusting, because otherwise you will end up with real problems. Once you got all your paint on there, everything's dry, everything's good to go, we just have to reassemble. Lower control arms go back in, cam bolts go back in, tires go back on, vehicle hits the ground, and you get in alignment. If you're having any problems, come see us at Hefty Fab. You're welcome to come down into Colorado Springs or go to heftyfab.com. We're happy to help you out. Make sure to check out other videos, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.